right, audience members.
Yay!
Third audience member.
Hello, today I'm going to be talking about the mysteries of the ocean, some of the different species that live down in the deepest places on this earth, and the importance of protection and conservation of them. The ocean makes up 75% of our planet's surface. The average ocean depth is over 4,000 meters, which is equivalent to 14,000 feet. The deepest part of our ocean is called the Challenger Deep, which is over 35,000 feet deep. That is equivalent to more than 24 Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. The Challenger Deep is located in a trench between Japan and the Philippines. If you think that is fascinating, imagine what kind of life could live down that low. Not long ago, humans believed that nothing could possibly live down that far. The water has little to no oxygen and there is zero sunlight. Impossible for any known species to survive. Little did we know a whole universe exists underneath the water surface. In fact, we have only discovered 10% of all underwater species. The most common deep-sea fish that probably comes to mind when the subject is brought up is the famous anglerfish. Because of the scarcity of food at such depths, it has long fishing rod-like adaptation protruding from its head, which has a bioluminescent piece of flesh that imitates a worm to lure its prey. These fish survive on what is called marine snow. It is mostly organic detritus falling from the upper layers of the water columns. Marine snow includes dead or dying plankton and diatoms. The snowflakes over time will reach several centimeters in diameter before reaching the bottom, and even at times take weeks to reach. Because there is no sunlight at the bottom of the ocean, deep sea ecosystems rely on them heavily. The fish that live in these high pressure and some of the roughest conditions are by far the most unusual and elusive creatures. These fish have learned to rely mostly on other senses as there is no sunlight. They have evolved a heightened sense of smell and can even sense the difference in water pressure when prey is close by. Many of these deep sea fish are bioluminescent with large eyes that are adapted to seeing in the dark. Bioluminescent organisms produce light through the agitation of molecules of luciferin, which then produces photons of light. More than half of the deep sea fish that have this capability, as it is almost essential to survive. As I mentioned before, statistics show that we have only discovered 10% of all marine species, yet we are damaging ecosystems at an alarming rate. Before we even discover these species, we are causing them to become extinct. The health of the ocean and wildlife that live in it are being taken for granted and proved to be extremely vulnerable to wasteful human activity. One recent event comes to mind is, of course, the BP oil spill that destroyed tons of wildlife and ruined our Gulf shores. Or even the most recent event with the molasses spill in the Honolulu harbor that suffocated most of the harbor's inhabitants and destroyed several levels on the food chain. As humans, it is our responsibility to preserve these magnificent and different species. We know little about what goes on in the deep oceans and have a lot to learn. Remember that we did not inherit this planet from our parents, but are borrowing it from our kids.
Yay!